And that takes us into our next fight. It's a women's strawweight bout between Livinha, the Brazilian gangster, Souza, and Amanda Lemos. This girl is truly a badass.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Man, dude, has no problem flipping the bird during face-offs. She is truly living up to the name of that Brazilian. So, we did see her beat Ashley Yoder actually in 2020. Man, rewatching that one, safe to say that one could have gone either way.
I mean, it's just one of those fights where there's just not much happening. So you're really just trying to gauge like who's got control of the fight, who's landing more when they're separated and trying. I think there was moments where Ashley did try to kind of utilize some of her work against the fence, but there was a lot of times where I was just like watching them really, pummel and try to get the most opportune clinch position to try and get something to happen. And, it's funny because for me, Amanda Lemos is just such a monster in the clips that I've seen. So it's one of those things when I'm comparing the two, it's hard.
The first note I have here is a true beast.
Yeah, she's really proved herself, right? And Leslie Smith is her only loss. I think after that, Miranda Granger and Mizuki's is a really good win. I watched most of that fight, and frankly, in any point where she got too close, she was able to handle the striking, deliver some back, get back into a good place. I just think that she's a really dominant fighter. She's powerful. I like the way she strikes. I mean, that's what makes me excited for the girl fights on this card because, frankly, they really, really technically sound and have some good power.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on it, but that versatility is what really stood out in watching highlights of her as well, right? I did watch that Mizuki fight, and man, the amount of times she was clinched up against the fence in defense mode and was able to turn that into a takedown. It was nuts, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Even in the beginning, she dropped her, right? Like, she dropped her real good with that power in the first round. So, and it's funny because this is another fight. Like, let's jump into some stats because, frankly, they're a little mind-blowing. And I don't even want to take, because I don't feel like we even touched on Livinha that much, right? She actually has some pretty good wins. Like, her losses are Brianna Van Buren, Angela Hill via split decision. It's like these girls have only lost to good competition. And I think that it comes down to like where the fight takes place because I think the standing battle, Amanda seems to have it, man. But I think if this fight does get close, if it gets a little bit technical, maybe Susan is able to pull something off. Maybe her striking can come into play maybe later in the fight. But early in the round, like Amanda just looks like such a monster, man. And she really does carry herself with like a lot of power. And that's what kind of, scared me the most. Like, this is what I want to show you. But when we talk about the grappling, these are Amanda's stats. In those 3 UFC fights, she's got 2.26 takedowns for every 15 minutes. And actually, Souza's really close to that. But the takedown accuracy and takedown defense are both 100%. So whenever she's wanted to take the fight to the ground, she's been able to. And whenever she's had to avoid the fight on the ground, she's avoided it. So little things like that stand out to me a lot. A lot of volume in her fight too, right? She did get hit a lot when we talked about the Mizuki fight. I thought she got hit plenty. And so that's when you talk about, like, are there areas in the striking game too where Souza can maybe sneak in some punches there and get what she needs to get off? Because I think Lemos is just going to come in there and just start firing. A lot of quick punches, a lot of heavy hooks. And I think it's going to be a fun fight, especially in that first round.
Yeah, we're really going to see Amanda come out and try and dictate the pace of this fight. So, let's jump into the lines here. I am going to give Lemos the favorite. Some of these ladies' lines ends up being all kinds of whack. So I'm going to go out on a limb here. Maybe say Lemos at a -300.
Okay, and so that's the thing, right? I think Souza did have success with the box against someone like Yoder. Question is, can she do it here? I think 300 is pretty high. I actually don't mind the line personally. I don't see an issue with it. But I think you got to give Souza a bit more credit based on the losses that she has and stuff like that. So I was actually going to go somewhere closer to the -200. And maybe that's more so my opinion then. But maybe Vegas is thinking like a bias today.
No, Vegas is definitely thinking like Suki today. This is a -175 actually. So even
my original line was -180.
Yeah. We're tired of seeing you win these showcase showdowns.
That's so good. I'm increasing my line to not win them. It's cool. But like you said, right? It doesn't matter where that line at that last point, where once it's past 170, I think you're kind of dictating something there. And regardless of where the line falls after that, I just think that what you see on paper, what you see on tape is just looking too dominant. But when you look at the way Souza used her boxing against Ashley Yoder, the way she tried to kind of avoid too much of the ground, maybe she's able to kind of showcase some of that as well. You never know. Mm-hmm. We've seen worse things happen, right?
Absolutely. It can definitely go either way. And I think the line represents that. So that wraps up UFC 259. Man, what a treat that was. Discussing it with you. I cannot wait to watch it. It's going to be a beauty. Make sure you don't miss this one. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button. All our information is below. Always a pleasure, Siraj. This one was extra special, man.
My man, it's one of the best cards we'll probably see this year, maybe for a very long time. So I'm glad all these guys getting on there. Let's just hope they stay healthy.
All right. Take care, my brother.
Peace.